All those that doubted Deion Sanders, guess what? He's not going anywhere.
You are Locked On Buffs, your daily podcast on the Colorado Buffaloes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Buffs. I'm your host, Kevin Borba. Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsors over at 5 Hour Energy. This episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Head to 5hourenergy.com to find over 15 flavors to choose from. Need one now? Grab a 5 Hour Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. Stock up today and stay energized. We're also brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day for free and available, as I pop back into the screen here, wherever you get your podcast. So make sure to like, subscribe, and follow so that way you don't miss out on a moment of the coverage. For those that said Deion Sanders was going to leave Colorado after his kids did, right? There was those people, they were just constant. It was like as soon as Shador leaves, as soon as Shiloh leaves, as soon as Travis Hunter leaves, he's out. He's going to go jump into the NFL, or he's going to go quit coaching and host a TV show or a podcast, right? Well, guess what? Deion Sanders, Colorado, they agreed to a contract extension, or he signed a contract extension today that made him the fourth highest paid coach in college football. He'll make over $10 million per year. It's a $54 million extension. So here are the details of the extension, so that way we all know what will happen. His base salary will increase to $10 million in 2025. According to the contract, he will earn another $10 million in 2026, $11 million in 2027, $11 million in 2028, $12 million in 2029. And then obviously there's a buyout. So his buyout starts at $12 million for 2025, $10 million in 2026, $6 million in 27, $4 million in 28, and then $3 million in 29. Huge deal for Colorado, right? And I think a lot of people were kind of praying and hoping that Deion Sanders would burn Colorado eventually, where they're just like, just wait, he's going to leave, and then this program with all this hype is going to die down. Coach Prime has said time and time again that he wants to remain in Boulder, Colorado for the remainder of his career, right? And people hated it, right? Stephen A. Smith on ESPN, who he's got a lot of things going on right now. He was always someone who was like, I wish USC would hire him. I wish Texas A&M would hire him, right? People have been calling for Deion Sanders to go to a traditional power program, right? And he's clearly happy in Boulder. He's clearly happy building something. And Colorado is clearly hoping that he could take this program to the next level, contend for a college football playoff spot, continue to contend in the Big 12, right? They were a win away this past year from doing both of those things. And so for Colorado to keep Deion Sanders without his sons on campus, I think it's a big deal, right? I think that was sort of the big question. And two, it also shows they're invested in him. One of the reports I saw also emphasized how much money they're investing in the program's NIL fund, which means they're going to be paying their players, compensating their players quite well, which is something that Colorado needs, right? That's sort of the only disadvantage that Colorado has at the moment, outside of not being in the SEC or the Big Ten, is they can't hang in the NIL space, or at least they haven't been able to, right? It's sort of been the one thing that hurts them is players will want to go there, but it's like they lost Nikhai Hill-Green because Bama came knocking, right? It's hard to turn down Bama, but it's also hard to turn down Bama when they're offering you hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, right? So for Colorado to finally get a contract extension, really big deal, right? What else is it a big deal for? I don't know, recruiting, right? Colorado's found some success on the recruiting trail as of late. Deion Sanders has signed 3 of their 6 highest ranked recruits in program history. And now that I think recruits will see he's there for the long run, I think we're going to start seeing some more 4 and 5 stars giving Colorado a look, right? I think there was always a hesitation, at least for some recruits, to go to Colorado because it's like, okay, it's fine if you're there with his sons, but is he going to be there when his sons leave? And that was sort of the big question, right? Every time I'd go on a show, every time someone would ask me about his future, it's like, okay, it's all fun and games, right? He's bringing in all this money, he's bringing in all this attention, but when his kids leave, is he going to be there? And the answer clearly is yes, right? So he inks a huge extension, and this is just a little bit of what he's bringing to the table, because I don't feel like we talk about this enough, right? $8.2 million, their first profitable season in at least 6 years this past year, $146.6 million in revenue, and a record $31.2 million in football ticket sales from July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024. So Colorado has clearly peaked with Coach Prime, or not peaked, but they're peaking, right? They're heading in the right direction. He has done everything for this program, and it's nice to see that they finally compensated him enough, right? And I think the biggest question I had, and I had multiple people come on the show, Shehan Jayaraja from CBS Sports, and we talked about it. And I said, I think you have to make him the highest paid coach in the Big 12 and one of the highest paid coaches in college football. And I know a lot of people instantly go, why? He's won 13 games at Colorado. And I get that point. But if you're Colorado, you have to think of where you were in 2022. You were 1-11. You were the worst program in college football. Your program was the laughingstock of college football. It was a pure disaster. No one cared about you. You weren't getting good recruits, or you weren't getting a lot of good recruits. And you were just sort of in this dark place of like irrelevant and terrible. And I think there's two things you never want to be in college football. It's irrelevant or bad, right? And it's one thing to be irrelevant, but still sort of be in the mix here and there because you'll have some success. It's one thing to be bad, right? It's like, okay, certain programs are bad, but they're still popular, but we still talk about them frequently. But to be irrelevant and bad is like a kiss of death on a program. So for Deion Sanders to come in and flip the script for Colorado, bring in elite recruits, bring in a Heisman winner in Travis Hunter, bring in 2 potential top 5 picks in Shedeur and Travis, huge for the program. And the trajectory of Colorado is only going to continue to skyrocket. These are some other numbers that really show why Deion Sanders deserves this money, because I think a lot of people are going to see this and be like, overpay. And if you think Colorado overpaid for Deion Sanders, you quite simply don't understand that there's more to what he brings to the program than just on-field product. And the on-field product has been great. It was great this past year. They went 9-4. First time they had 9+ wins since 2016. First time they made it to a bowl game since 2020. First time finishing ranked in the college football playoff. So one of these, let's just go through the list of what Deion Sanders has done and why he deserves this massive extension. $113.2 million in the local economy. 8 million people tuned in for Colorado's Alamo Bowl game against BYU. It was the most watched bowl game that wasn't a college football playoff game. Wins between 5 seasons before he was in Boulder, 19. He's at 13 wins in 2 years. Will probably hit 19 next year, right? So he's already winning on and off the field. His Colorado team achieved the highest AP ranking since 2016, and it's the second time they finished ranked in the college football playoff. They've signed 3 out of the top 6 highest ranked recruits in program history, and clearly things are trending in the right direction, right? Recruits are including them in their top 5s. Recruits are giving them looks, and knowing that Deion Sanders is going to be in Boulder will only help their recruiting case, right? I think a lot of people have gotten on Deion Sanders for only using the transfer portal. I think recruits are hesitant to go to Boulder because it's like, is he going to be there forever, right? And I don't know if he's going to be there forever, but he's going to be there until at least 2029. So for Colorado, this is probably the biggest move, maybe in program history, honestly, because you bring in this enigma of a coach who is just a trendsetter, a program mover, a needle mover. Like, he does everything for your program. And Joel Klatt said in January, they're like, he said they have a really good deal on the table and he hasn't signed it. And I kept saying, clearly the deal is not what he wants. And it doesn't have to be just about money for him. It's about investment in the program, right? So Colorado's getting a turf field, right? Colorado is going to be investing more in the NIL fund, right? So Colorado is showing Deion Sanders that, hey, we are investing in your program. We are investing in you as a leader, and we want you to continue to guide us to greatness. And I mean, I don't think they could have made a better decision, right? Deion Sanders clearly knows what he's doing. He clearly is brave enough, bold enough to sort of take risk. And so far, his risks have paid off. And for Colorado, it's a big investment to make him the 4th highest paid coach in college football. But 1, he's going to make that money back for you, so it doesn't really matter. 2, think of everything he's done for the program. They had to take that risk. So I love the deal. I love what it's done for the program. What I don't love, the NCAA being the NCAA and turning down Colorado's spring game. Let's talk about it.